Hey, so what is going on, everyone? It is me, Mr. Mario.
And Dope's Wonder.
And how are you doing today, Daniel?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing alright, but it seems like we just did this topic.
I feel like maybe in a past life.
Yeah, possibly. So for anyone that doesn't know, I take full responsibility for this. I screwed up on the first time we tried to record this, and we did a full recording, and it all worked pretty well for episode 6 of ModChat, which if you're listening, thank you very much for listening. But then when I went to listen to the audio, Dano sounded good. I sounded like I was masturbating in a tin can or something, and
Yes.
I found out it was because I had Skype defaulted over to my webcam and not my actual Yeti right here that I'm using. So I tried looking into it. I tried checking the audio, and I was like, there's no possible way I could, in good consciousness, release this.
So here we go. Take two.
Yes. And Dana, what are we talking about today?
Today we are going to be bitching about things. We're going to be complaining. No, I'm just kidding. But we're going to be talking about basically the things that we don't like about modding, things that are like pet peeves to us, things that get under our skin or grind our gears, if you will. And luckily, there's quite a few of those things, right, Mr. Mario?
Exactly, yeah, there are quite a few of those things. Pretty much Daniel and I are going to be like Chief Keef and Stereo, so it's going to be pretty great, we're both going to be talking about what we don't like and all that. But for ModChat itself, if you are, a familiar listener and everything, welcome back. If you are brand new to ModChat, you don't need to listen to the previous episodes. Essentially, this is where Daniel and I talk about modding, whatever we want to talk about, and it doesn't have to be limited to one exact thing, because we like to go off on tangents and all that, but we did this because we came up through YouTube primarily through the modding scene for the Xbox 360, some other systems, and while we still like to cover mods, right now the modding scenes are kind of dry, but we also like to just discuss what is going on in our lives and everything like that, and reminisce with stories and all too. So that's essentially what you're getting with Mod Chat. Dano, does that sound about right?
Sounds pretty damn good to me, man.
Okay, fantastic. So, would you like to go ahead with the first thing you don't like, or would you like me to go ahead with it?
I guess I'll kick it off, man, real quick here. Alrighty. So first things first, and I will say that the biggest peeve I think I have with the modding scene, what I've experienced is gonna go to forums, and I know that this is something that you can definitely relate to as well. And not that all forums, modding forums, you've got a bunch of them. Off the top of my head, I've got Seven Sins, Tech Game, XP Game Saves, Team Executors forums. You got Xbox Scene. You got what was the other one? Tortuga Cove, right? Is one of them.
I found out Tortuga Cove is dead.
Yeah, you did. You
so
said it's closed down or dead?
It's both.
Okay, so it's rest in peace.
Yeah,
so,
I actually liked that forum, but there's that. I will say one I do like, because there's a lot of forums that are pretty negative. One is teamx360.co.uk. I'm not sponsored by them at all, but I've gone on there. They're awesome, and they have active development going on too.
Okay, so yeah, they're rad. I actually haven't even I've never been on that website, so that's a new one for me. I got to take a look at. But
I recommend it.
Okay, yeah. Well, one thing I'll say is that each forum I have been an active member on, which the ones I've been most actively on were Seven Sins, Tech Game, a little bit on Team Executor, and lately the last year or so here has been XP Game Saves. They all have things that I would say would be pros and cons, little things, anything from just the way the forums ran to what people that are actually contributing, how many trolls there are, things of that nature. But if I had one forum in particular that I just, over the years have been grown to hate, it's gonna be Team Executors forums. And I actually don't even know if I have an account with them. I remember that when I was first trying to get an account, registration was full or some shit. I don't know if that's ever something you had to deal with, but
I've dealt with that before.
Okay, yeah, because for me, I remember it took me the longest of time to even be able to get an account, and then I actually got my first account banned permanently, which is awesome. I don't think I ever actually told you that, but
no, you didn't tell me. What happened?
Yeah,
tell ModChat.
Okay, well, the thing is, I have a very, very vague memory of this because it's been, probably 2.5 to 3 years now. But from what I remember, I was thinking along the lines of I posted something, and I think that Team Executor, one of the mods, deleted it, and so I reposted it, not kind of confused, because I never got a message or anything like that, saying hey, we're taking this down, and the mod said something, he was basically talking shit from what I remember on my tutorial, and so then I got really...
Did you post your video, or was it a text tutorial?
I think it was one of my videos, dude, on one of their chips that had just come out, and so then I definitely when then they were kind of teaming up on me, a couple of the mods or a couple of the members on there, and I basically like think that I took the low blow and just told them to go fuck themselves, like pretty much. And so yeah, that was the end of it on that. For a while, I wasn't on there, but anyways, enough about that. Like basically, my biggest pet peeve with Team Executors Forum is that just the moderators on there. Not all of them. Again, I can't put everyone into a little, little.
Let's not drop names.
Yeah, I'm not gonna drop names, but I mean, I can't put them all into a little Tupperware box of just this is the ones I don't like and this I do like. But from
People
a
know. I'll say this: people know which ones you don't like and which ones you do like, it because everyone hates the ones that people hate.
That's true. That's true. I'm not the only one. But the thing is that there's just so much people with their noses held up way too high, and people thinking that they are something special, even though they're not. And they're really just not nice to people that really have questions. And like the thing is, I do understand that from a standpoint of people that are just like really lazy and the thing's been answered 100,000 times and they don't know how to use a search bar and things of that nature. I do get that, but I still feel like at a general standpoint, especially because this is a business, that they should be a little bit kinder to the people that are using their products. And I do feel like, again, everyone starts off at some point and they're just, to me, very, very, very arrogant and just downright fucking rude people, as a general rule of like the type of people that were on there. And so that's one thing that really grinds my gears is I guess just shitty moderators thinking that they are something special.
No, I can agree with that because, like, people know on here. I haven't had as bad of experiences recently because I really don't post on there. But Team Executors forums I've really never liked just because, that's one reason why I don't post on there because of how mostly moderators had conducted themselves and all that. And it's just, a echo chamber of a bunch of hate and negativity there, too. They really don't. They'll talk shit, on other teams and all that as well, too. So other modding teams, they'll just completely talk shit on them there. If you're asking for help, it's like, even if you are a genius, I feel like they will find something to, poke holes in you and make fun of you, whatever it is. And funny thing is, actually, as well, too, recently, within the past, month or so, I actually went onto there and I was kind of, snooping around, browsing, whatever it was. And I noticed that the forums weren't as hostile as they normally are. So I kind of checked around a little bit, and then I started looking up the actual moderator names and all that, and most of the moderators are really not active right now. Like there were some that said they were signed in a week ago, and there were a bunch, like some of the big ones where they weren't signed in for 2-3 months at a time. And I'm just like, you know what? This makes so much sense as to why the forums don't seem that bad right now. Because there's nobody, all the dicks are gone. They're AFK for whatever reason.
Which is just kick ass.
Exactly. Even people were even mentioning it on there. They're just like, yeah, no, the forums are actually kind of nice because there's nobody yelling at us.
Yeah, it was really bad, dude. I mean, again, I started for a while there. I kind of thought it was just a little bit humorous because just how trollish and just how just arrogant and rude everyone was. But it became a place where it wasn't by any means a fun forum at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it is well known to just have an echo chamber of people that will hate on you.
Yeah, if you're not in their fucking high school Mean Girls clique, dude, then I'm serious. That's what it was like, dude.
No. I completely understand. I mean, I'm laughing, but I understand.
Yeah, if you weren't one of the founders or one of the OG people on Team Executor, then they were just not cool to you, man. And I just don't think that from either a forum standpoint or a business standpoint, it's not the way it should be, dude. And again, do I get that there's a lot of annoying people out there that probably deserve a little bit of cheek or something like that? Sure, but like you just said too, even if you were a genius, they would find something. No one was good enough, to be considered. A respectable contributing member, to the forums, it felt like.
Exactly. Also, I mean, I know of some specific people as well, too, a few different people where they had been, flip-flopped on, where it's they were respected, and there were times where Team Executor was talking shit on them, and they would be respected later, and it's dude, it is pretty much the high school of Xbox modding forums.
Yeah, it's just drama, dude. Drama. Like he said, she said, and I mean, it's ridiculous, dude, because, I mean, the thing is, especially with modding, I feel like everyone should want to help everyone, so that way we can hopefully grow. And I feel like most people have something to offer the scene, even though, again, granted, there's a lot of leechers that don't want to do any kind of contributing. or giving back, but I just I feel like I've even seen cases of people that are pretty smart people, and they're trying to contribute in one way, shape, or form, and because of all the negativity, they just said, "Fuck it, dude."
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know?
no, it's pretty much that whole that the whole form at its peak was really essentially worshiping everything that the god C Forever said and what Executor said, which is like I definitely respect their work. Like Team Executor, yeah, they've put out some kick-ass products. C Forever, I think he's done some awesome stuff, to say the very least. But they would like chastise you for saying anything else and all the other stuff, and like I think for a while because like and one thing some people might think I'm talking shit about C Forever, but no, like my example is I remember when the X key was out, C Forever had said at one point that he had a X key system and he got banned on it, and he said the X key is an expensive way of getting banned because he had been banned. So all of a sudden, like everyone on Team Executor was just like talking shit about the X key, and if you brought it up, they would talk shit on you about it. And they were saying, C Forever said it's an expensive way of getting banned. You're just going to get banned. No, burning verbatims is the best thing that you can do, and you have to get this drive and all this other stuff. Even alternatives that were better, they still recommended, the old things. And it's like, I know the X key did have some difficulties at the beginning, and I believe there were a few bans, but ultimately there were barely any bans with the X key. We are a few years in now, and I've barely seen any X key bans. And the only bans I've seen have been from people who are, like doing something stupid where it's like they take a modified ISO and they're going into, a ton of public lobbies with it, and they're filming the footage and putting it up on YouTube with their gamer tags and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I had I never had the X key, but I had the X360 USB or whatever. I think that's what it's called.
I think it's like
X360.
the X360 dock or something like that.
That's what it is. Yeah, yeah. God, it's been so many years now since I had it. But I mean, in all honesty, dude, it was even that. Like, I mean, compared to the X key, no, the development on the X key was way more advanced, and their team was just way better. But even that in itself, dude, was like a pretty solid option. I think it was like $70 or something like that, dude. And I mean, it worked well for what it was supposed to do. So I don't know if like whether it was like a power trip type thing or he felt like he had something that was like taking a spotlight away from him, maybe potentially. Like, I mean, I don't know, dude, but
Essentially, that's what. As I said, they don't like competition.
no, of course not, of course not. But I mean, it's just instead of downing it, why not? I just don't. I don't. God, here I am, dude. I feel like I should be like a fucking hippie, like just like let's just all be friends, guys. Everyone just love everyone, which is it's not the world we live in at all. But I mean,
Exactly. We live in corporate America.
yeah, everyone step on everyone's head to climb to the top, But I just I don't know, man. I never had an X key again, but I just know that I know a couple people that did, and like they all loved them, dude. They swore by them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess like there's so many things. One thing, since we're on the topic of like, communities and all that, could be the community themselves. Now, it's not only, just like the higher ups, like moderators, whatever it is. I'm talking about here on YouTube, on our home and everything, where you have complete leechers and everything who, there could be people that steal others' work, whatever it is, and they'll make up excuses. I've seen this in forums well too, whether it be a code or video or anything like that. I know, Daniel, you have some experiences with that as well. But the big thing is, it's just when people want every little meticulous thing spoon-fed to you. Like, even one... Here's the thing, I try and go, like, with my tutorials and all, I try and go detailed, and I know there's going to be questions. I know there's going to be people that have difficulties, and I understand that, but I try and be detailed and bring it to a lower level when I explain everything, so a lot of people can understand the things. But you'll have people, for example, they try it, it doesn't work for them, so they'll yell that it's fake. It's not fake, it's user error. That's actually, that's the term I've been using recently, because I believe there are stupid questions, but there's, different ways to fix them and all that stuff as well.
Yeah.
But instead of me being a complete dick and saying, yeah, you're stupid, I will say user error. I'm just like, user error exists and you probably didn't do something properly with this. But then even as I said, the people who want everything spoon-fed, I make sure my stuff most of the time is enough where it's like I explain most of the things in there. A bunch of times you'll actually see troubleshooting steps in comments and all that as well too with people that have had this experience, and you can Google everything. You have a vast wealth of knowledge available to you. But like one thing, for example, was there was actually a message I had gotten where somebody was asking, they're just like, hey, I saw your video about flashing Xbox 360, and I wasn't sure about this, because I think essentially what happened with their system was like they had updated it and it was flashed before, and now it doesn't play burn games. So, Daniel, do you know what you're supposed to do in that situation?
I feel like I remember because again, I was never too keen on flashing, but I remember that
Gotcha.
after a certain update, didn't you have to like either flash back to stock before updating or like oh god, what was it? Wasn't there something like that where you had to like flash back to stock before you updated because or like the update would re-flash your drive for
Both of those things were cautions that you had to take, but yes, there was one update that just completely reflashed your drive.
Okay, yeah, because I do remember when that was kind of coming about. I was that was well, wasn't there also a drive or two that didn't happen to? Like, was it the Hitachi or the Samsung or something like that? Or no, it was all of them.
Uh, I
I
want to say
swore there was.
the Hitachis did not get reflashed.
Okay, because I do remember. Yeah, again, like I would say the flashing is something that I flashed probably one of everything for tutorial purposes, but I didn't. I think it was never like a service I was offering or nothing like that, so I didn't deal with it too
And see,
much.
that's something I really enjoy doing. But essentially, what happened was this person, they said, yeah, essentially, I can't figure it out because now my Xbox doesn't play my backup games. What should I do? And I just said, reflash the drive. He had seen the videos, he saw all the stuff, and that's what I said. Then I got a message back, and it was just like, I don't know how to do that. Can you teach me? And it's like, dude, you came here and said you found my tutorial over flashing drives. Like, I teach you in there. What do you want me to do? Type up like a subtitle subscript and then just
You're pissed or like annoyed. I kind of.
yeah. It's just like, and people might think that I'm blowing up or something, and it's like, I'm normally a pretty patient person, but like, you don't see my inbox, you don't see Daniel's inbox. Like, you get, if you ask a question, chances are there's about 60,000 other people that have asked that question too.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
that's
yeah.
why Google is available, because you can find everything through there. But as I said, this guy had seen the tutorial, he knew what it was about, he knew that it showed how to do everything, and then he asked, can you teach me? And it's like, the resources are there. I taught. I couldn't do it on a one-to-one individual basis, so that's why I did it, so anyone can teach themselves.
Well, I'm at the point now, dude, where especially with a lot of questions, I kind of expect the YouTube community to answer, and like, luckily there is a handful of subscribers that have been longtime subscribers that seem to be doing a pretty good job of that, and I'm very thankful for that because again, like you said too, I mean, I've got so many videos now, and I get comments on even old videos, and I can't answer all of them, and again, I get people that personally email me, asking all these questions and stuff, and a lot of the questions are just like, I'll even get people, dude, that'll email me, and like their fucking way that they word things makes me just not want to answer it itself because like you didn't even take
Oh,
the
I
time,
gotcha.
dude. I'm like did you type this with your fucking tooth? Like like I mean, just say, like you got like one buck tooth, you just slam in your face on like a chicken. Like I mean, dude, I've seen sometimes where I'm like reading it, and I'm like, holy shit! Like I could just tell from this email that like this person, even if I were to type this up, like they probably wouldn't be able to walk with it. And so it's like, I mean, oh god, dude. Again, I my YouTube's purpose originally, which again it's shifted majorly my whole purpose and reasoning for doing videos now, but like
You still do
originally,
tutorials, though.
what's that?
You still do tutorials.
Oh yeah, no, I still do tutorials. I'm just saying though, originally like the only goal I had was to take the things that I had learned that were difficult to find because of googling and having to trial and error and stuff is to make it where like it was at least like in a place where it was easier to see and like hopefully would be make things kind of shortcut or streamline things for people, but I have no patience or no like feelings of compassion towards people that can't even do a little bit of googling, dude. Because it's like, what do they think that like I'm here like just
It's a free service that's easily available worldwide.
exactly, dude, exactly, man. That's it. That's the thing, and it's like
Yeah.
again, it'd be a different story. Let's say I
I'm,
was.
I just want to interject with this real quick as well too. Most people don't really think about this when they are asking a question and all that, but I've had explained to people as well too. Not through like my comments or anything, but through like like other types of things as well too, like other communities I've been a part of. Most of the time, if it's a question that's, really big and it's easily searchable, you will be able to search for the question and find your solution much faster and easier through Google, as opposed to continually messaging someone or messaging people in hopes that they'll respond.
Dude, 99% of the questions I've had with modding, if I Google it, I can find the answer.
Exactly.
It exists, dude. There's
It
the modding.
exists.
The modding community is not a group of 10 guys. It's fucking huge, dude. I mean, it's if you've had an issue with it, chances are another 100 people have had the issue with it.
The thing I also most of the time, if there's like somebody who might be repeatedly asking questions, I don't like to answer them a whole bunch. And it sounds like a mean thing, but here's the thing: I've seen this time in and time out. There might be somebody that they start asking me questions, and they're kind of like higher level questions. So I'm like, okay, that is something hard, so I'll respond, and I'll help them out, and we'll kind of go back and forth. But then it will get to the point, for they'll almost just expect me to reply, so they'll either get mad when I don't reply, or they'll start asking me the most basic questions where I'm just like, okay, dude, this is no longer an obscure thing. You're just using me instead of Google. You need to get out of here.
You've gotten lazy at this point.
Exactly. So that's why there's a lot of times I don't do that as well too.
Well, another thing too, like, which is like, if YouTube was my full-time job and I was sitting here every single day, and all I had to do with my day was make a video and respond to not customers, but respond to customers. Jesus, respond to subscribers or just viewers and stuff. Like, different scenario. With everything else I've got going on, with a job working 5 days a week, and now school starting back up again too, and like having somewhat of a little life, I'm struggling just to get my videos out there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it happens.
and it's so. What's that?
It happens.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Completely understandable.
And so it's like, again, like you said too, if you got someone who you can see has put in the effort and like just really needs just a little something, like that's a different scenario. But if you've got people just asking the most basic of questions, like I'll get people that'll ask. It really irritates.
What's the difference between a fat Xbox and a slim Xbox?
Oh,
Please respond.
Oh God. No, dude, like that makes me want to kill myself. But but I'm just saying, like,
not because you should know, but because it's easily searchable.
yeah. I mean, dude, fuck. Oh man, I don't even. I'm done. I'm not.
No. You're not done because now you need to say something that you don't like.
Oh, okay. Well, another thing that like I believe that I had mentioned when we recorded this the first time was that like one of the big things frustrates the shit out of me, dude, is when like you are doing a mod for the first time, or like you're either for the first time, or you're fairly new with it, or you're just trying to like maybe you've done a mod a certain way, but you want to try because there's like multiple ways of doing it. You're like, oh, this time I'll try like QSBs or like whatever, like a different method of doing it, and it's something that should be relatively simple, and you're like, oh, I'll probably knock this out in about an hour or whatever, and you're sitting there. Never. No, if you ever think you're gonna do it quickly, it won't be. Just so know that right up front. But it's like you do it, and everything is looking beautiful, everything's looking fine, and it's not working, and you don't know why it's not working. You go, check your steps, 55,000 times. You do a little bit of, some Googling. You do some. Yeah, maybe even you post on the forum a little bit while you're sitting there, waiting for a response. And I've done that where I've like posted it and I'll be refreshing it every fucking 2 minutes trying to see if someone responded. Tell me you haven't done that before, dude.
I've done that.
Okay, and sitting there just kind of like banging your head in the wall trying to figure out what's going on, and you'll leave and you'll come back, dude, and like it'll be clear as day, like you switched a wire up or you did something stupid like that. But that's happened to me countless times, man, where it's like I want to just, it's like midnight, I'll knock this out by 1, then I'm fucking 5 o'clock in the morning, just now I'm sleep deprived, I'm stressed out, and I'm just like sweating for some reason, and I just cannot figure.
You're worried out. That's what happened.
Yeah, dude, I cannot figure it out, dude. And like that to me is like something that, again, that's just me not being patient. And like, again, if I have like a huge advice for no matter what kind of project that you're doing on, is like just walk away sometimes, and like come back with a fresh set of goggles on, if you will. But that's something that's definitely over the years just frustrated the shit out of me, dude, is stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and sometimes it's like something completely common sense too. Like I remember when I JTAG'd my first system, I wired up everything. I had all the tools, all the stuff. The soldering looked good. I even resoldered this stuff like 3 times, and I was able to dump the NAND, make a new NAND, write the NAND over, all that stuff. But whenever it was like Zell reloaded or a hacked NAND, well, you have to do Zell first. It wouldn't boot up, and I was getting a red ring of death. So I was trying to figure out what the hell it was, because stock worked fine, but anything else wouldn't, and I was thinking it was something like higher level, like, maybe I got the one system that it doesn't have a compatible CB, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Then I ended up finding out. I left. Like I remember, I think I just like I went to the gym for like an hour and a half or something like that. Like I came back, so I was gone for a few hours. After I showered, I looked down at my Xbox, looked at the schematics. I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" There was 2 wires I had to solder, and I transposed them. I was like, it was so basic. So I immediately desoldered both wires, crisscrossed them, soldered them back in, booted up the system, and Zell Reloaded worked perfectly within like 3 seconds.
I've done so much similar shit, dude. It's like the most. You feel like an idiot, you know?
Exactly.
You're
And while
just
it's
like,
going on, you're like, no, I can figure this out. It's like, no, just sleep. You can't figure it out.
Yeah, you really can't. You start getting like tunnel vision, if you will, or like you know, you're just staring at it, and it's like nothing's popping out. You're just kind of like zoned. You're honed in on shit, but you can't catch it. And it's happened to me, like I said, a bunch of times too. I've even had it where, oh god, I just remembered something from our last video too that pisses me off. You finish up this, and then I gotta jump into this next thing, dude.
Okay. One other thing I've had as well too is it's just like, would you try? It's kind of a cross between the two. Either when everything you've done something like 20 or 30 different times and it's worked perfectly, and then it's like the 21st or the 31st time everything goes wrong for whatever reason. You have everything hooked up right and it just doesn't work. Like recently, I had it where there was a drive that I worked on and I flashed it and all that. The next day had the exact same configuration, all that, and I was getting nothing but errors, and it kept crashing and all this other stuff. And then it was just I just switched USB ports and it worked just fine. But kind of like a cross thing with that is more when you break things.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's a horrible feeling.
for the first time, or like things you've done already a bunch of times, or
Both.
Okay, yeah, breaking shit in general sucks.
Yeah, because then you just feel horrible because like if it's your first time, you're like, damn it, I followed all the steps properly, and then if it's your 50th time, it's like, damn it, I've done this 49 times.
I think I got to a point after breaking so much shit. My dog. You hear my dog?
I heard your dog.
Dude, my window's open. I hope he doesn't bark more. Son of a bitch. Sorry, guys. I've got 2 dogs, and my house is hot as hell, and I can't run the fan. I might just yell at them in a minute here if they don't stop. Anyways,
That's fine. This is how ModChat is. I like it.
yeah, very professional. Maybe one day we'll be in a studio, dude. I'll have a own studio. But
Oh my god, I got to work on my studio voice.
yeah, hello. No, but it got to the point with me, dude, that I was like, every time I did something new, I'm like, I'll probably break this once or twice before I get it right, just so that way, like, I'd be less frustrated. And I mean, I told you about my whole Matrix Freedom PCB and my whole fucking kamikaze issue last time, dude. But for those of you that don't know, the Matrix Freedom board was the basically, I believe it was for the Slim, and it was like the replacement board. So that way you could basically flash the board and play backup games on your Slim console. And I want to say that did the Freedom board come out before Team Executors? Because I want to say it almost did, dude.
No, it was a clone.
Okay, it was a clone. So it was a clone of it.
Kind of clone. It's a different brand. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, they sent me one, and basically I waited for it. I remember it was supposed to come, and it didn't come, and then I waited all day long, and the day it was out for delivery, and it didn't show, and in 1 hour I had to go pick up, I think it was my brother from school or something like that. By the time I got back, I had a little note on my door saying that they had attempted to deliver, and so I was pissed, dude. My patience game is a lot of things. Strong is not one of them. And so I drove out to the DHL place, and luckily, like I was able to pick it up that same night, and I got back, and I don't know what time it was. It was pretty like later on. I ate some food and stuff, and in my head I did an unboxing video of it, and I was like, I'm not gonna touch this tonight. I'm tired already. It's been a long day, and I think I'd work the next day or something like that. Well, that night particularly, I couldn't sleep at all. I was having like really bad insomnia, and so like I don't know, 1, 2 in the morning, something like that. I decided, oh, what the fuck, I'm gonna give this a go, and I taken my contacts out. For those of you that don't know, I'm blind as a bat. I mean, I've got like a 1 foot radius, and anything beyond that is just super blurry. So I got contacts, and at nighttime I usually pop on my glasses to let my eyes rest a little bit. And I couldn't find my glasses. I remember for whatever reasoning, I didn't know where they were. And when I don't have them beside my bed, it's really difficult again to find them because I can't see. And so instead of just saying like, no, absolutely not, like I shouldn't do this at this point, I said, no, I'm going to do this. I still am going to do this. And so I basically just ended up completely jacking up the PCB board. I plugged in one of the plugs into it backward and like fucked up the pins in the whole port and stuff. And, and it was terrible. I felt like an idiot. I felt like an idiot because it's like I know better than that. It wasn't my first time doing something like that, and I told you too last time that I did something similar without my glasses too. Now, the whole kamikaze hack for the thing, I used a soldering iron, no glasses, and no fucking like stencil, no marking it, and just
Ah.
and just stabbed it in there and totally bricked it. And like again,
That's
after
already such a dangerous hack because thankfully I've never messed it up, but you are literally, for anybody that doesn't know, it's called the kamikaze hack for a reason, and there is a wire inside. Daniel, have you ever seen like the back end behind it?
I don't think so. No.
It's fascinating because there's a wire inside of that chip, and the reason why you have to drill it is because you have to drill low enough to the point where you will damage the chip and you will cut the wire. But if you drill any further, you could cause like permanent damage to the chip to itself, or will where it won't work, obviously. But essentially, you have to trace where that exact wire is that locks and unlocks the drive, and then you have to drill, as I said, just far enough so that you cut that cable in the chip itself. So when you do that, it disables locking and unlocking.
I feel like, as a general rule, too, even though I have seen people do it with a soldering iron, I think a soldering iron is a stupid thing to use.
I think it would work. I use an X-Acto knife, and I get it done within like 5 minutes.
Okay. You don't do the drill bit?
I did the drill bit, and that took me about 20-25 minutes, but I've done it like 2 or 3 other times with an X-Acto knife, and it was perfect.
Huh. Okay. Yeah.
Also a
Well.
lot cleaner.
Oh, right on. Yeah. Exacto knives are kick ass, dude. I mean, they're
Mhm.
super super handy tools. But yeah, those are two examples of like again. So now like when a new exploit comes out or a new hack comes out, like in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'll probably need to get like 2 or 3 of these just because. But I've gotten better. My patience game's gotten a little better. I make sure I do my homework beforehand and like really try to like step by step everything. But just again, like for those of you like coming from me, those of you that do break things, like don't get discouraged, man, because again on YouTube videos you might see like the thing going from beginning to end and working, but I can assure you that I've broken a lot of stuff.
Oh, dude, what about like my damn Ethernet cables where I just broke like 10 of them while I was talking to you?
Oh yeah, you just Mr. Mario's trying to like custom. What do you call it? They call it crimp tool or crimp? What's it
I'm,
called?
I'm crimping and I'm making my own Ethernet cables essentially.
Yeah, so he's trying to clean up all of his stuff, and we were just talking about how it looks like it's relatively simple, and it's not even that Mr. Mars was saying it's that difficult, but there's still a learning curve to where like you've got to learn how to
There
do
isn't.
it just right.
Yeah, and it's easy, but the thing is, it's like you gotta get like the lengths right, and then you might as well cut a little further, and then it takes time at first. You have to line up all the things properly, and then sometimes you don't crimp it properly, and then even like just like stripping off the wire and all that, you gotta get the pressure correct as well too. Like I've gotten a lot better with it, but for example, like when I was first doing it, one reason why I was cutting through so many cables is because the pressure I was applying was a bit too much, and it was cutting the actual like internal Ethernet cables themselves, which you
Oh
don't
yeah,
want to do.
yeah,
So
yeah.
even just like you're gonna break stuff. I mean, that's part of everything.
Hey, when it comes to cables, question: when you're ever like when you're like taking them off, do you ever use your teeth?
No,
I always use my teeth.
dude, I've had so much dental work done on my teeth. I treat them like gold.
Really?
Yeah, I've had nightmares about my teeth, all that stuff. No, dude, I can't do. I tried doing wires one time with my teeth, and I was just like, no, I'm not doing it. Like, I will spend the money to buy the tools, or I will rig up my own tool, whatever it is, or use a lighter or something. But no, dude, I can't do my teeth.
It's funny. I really need to get a wire stripper, man. I've been using my teeth for fucking peeling them back. I use the
For
lighter
like
too.
Kynar wire, you're saying?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
Kynar wire.
No,
when
I
did
just got like a 30 gauge wire stripper for like $10.
I need when I go tonight after this to Home Depot. I'm probably gonna pick up some wire strippers, dude. Because like even with my whole CNC, the CNC thing I built, I think there was probably a total of like 4, 12, 16, 20, 30 wires or so, dude, and all of them just like bite and like. But I was saying it's funny though because even me like with the wires before, like if I didn't do it right, I'd strip out like take out some of the actual wire. But like I've got it down now where I'm like, dude, I've got like professional wire strippers like on deck all the time.
I gotcha, and like I know it works, and the problem is it's a personal thing. It's just like it's my teeth, man. I can't do that.
No, I don't blame you.
Johnny Guns has the same thing as well too. He's had so much work done on his teeth where it's like him and I we've had tooth conversations because we've both had decent amount of work done, but like he hates it. He hates it so much. He can't do anything with his teeth.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah.
That's that's pretty good.
He doesn't even want to talk about the stuff.
Yeah, he's like, no, man.
Exactly.
That's pretty funny.
And then
dude.
you know how it goes. Like he's just like, no, I'm not going to talk about it. Okay, let's talk about it for like 5 more minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I can get it out of him. The one biggest like achievement for me, I think that like was something I was sure I was gonna break was when I installed that whole oh god, this Psygnos 360 dual NAND thing.
In the
And
Slim, right?
yeah, I knew a Slim when they didn't have it for a Slim, so I had to basically
Did they
use.
even ever make them for the Slim?
No. They were out of like commission, if you will, before the Slims were
Okay.
even out. Yeah, but I ended up using Kynar wire, and I had to like manually wire from all of the points on the PCB, which ended up being something like 20 to 30 like tiny little wires running across the board. I mean, it looked fucking crazy. If you guys like, I have a YouTube video of it on there, and like I still sometimes will look at it and be like, that shit looks nuts. And like when it actually worked, dude, I was just freaking out. And don't get me wrong, I did an assload of homework, especially because the chip itself wasn't cheap. Like for me to spend, I think it was like 80, $90, which like, you know, to me that was a pretty good chunk of change when I was used to doing like JTAGs and stuff like that up until that point pretty much. And so you know, but when I turned it on and saw that it actually worked, I'm telling you, like the feeling of accomplishment was just unreal. I was stoked, dude.
Because you did something that it wasn't supposed to be designed for at all. Like as we said, the Signos was not supposed to work on the Slim. They never made a Slim model.
Yeah, exactly. And so like that was something for me that I was just like badass, because with my track record I was like, this is not going to work. I'm going to be out a Slim and a chip in like 10 minutes here.
Now,
so.
how much did you sell that for, if you don't mind me asking?
I didn't ever end up selling it, dude.
Oh, really? Wait, do you
No.
still... So where is it?
I don't even know. I think that I took the chip out after a while and just sold the chip.
Oh,
I didn't use the dual NAND too much. I told you that when we were talking about dual NANDs the other day, but like
I
for
know,
me,
but that's still... Oh, I would have kept that.
dude, I'm just well. The thing is, if my friend Jimmy, I wish he was on this mod chat, because he would just tell you like the stories of me. I am terrible with keeping shit, dude. Like things that I really, really want, I'll get them and then flip them. Like I wish I'd never gotten rid of my fucking my dev slash. Shut up, puppy! Shut up! It's like right outside my damn window. I'm gonna kick you in the throat. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna.
Oh
but,
god, we got that on recording.
I know, PETA. It's okay. But yeah, every time, like even with my like Zephyr test kit that I had that was like beautiful, I wish I hadn't sold that, dude. I mean, there's just so many things that I've gotten over the years, and just getting rid of it, it freaking sucks, dude.
Mm-hmm. No, I gotcha. Like it's gotten to the point where it's like for me, I'll try to repurpose it or whatever.
I'm closing my window, dude.
Okay, yeah, it's gotten to the point like I'll like repurpose things. Like for example, like there's been some things where like some of my first exploited systems I have sold because I don't need them. But like when I did a RJ tag on one of my Jaspers, I remember I was so proud of it. I was like, well, I don't want to get rid of this because it's really nice, but I could sell it because it's really nice.
Yeah.
But I don't want to keep it at the same time because I already have all these other hard mod systems and it won't get used. So then that's when I just went all out. I made it like a Sonic the Hedgehog themed Xbox and did a bunch of other stuff to it, and then I gave it to my brothers because I was like,
Oh, that's cool though. Like you keep it in the family.
exactly, yeah. So I don't even think they'll want to get rid of it, but like I've told my parents, I'm just like, if you guys ever get rid of that thing, you don't want to know what's going to happen. I put so much damn work into that.
Yeah, I'm gonna freak out, man. I'm gonna freak out.
Yeah, because that was like the first time I'd like done like a custom design on a system. First time I used like a Sonus on there. One of my first RJ tag systems as well. First time I ever completely rebuilt a like there was so many firsts in that system, and it was such a good build.
Yeah, it sounds badass. I actually never even installed the Sonus, dude.
Really?
I kind of wanted to just because it seemed fun and shit, but like I think the reason why I was like, okay, so like I wasn't too like for myself like sure I wanted to do it, like because I was like, it's cool, but like I don't know that I need to do it. But
you don't need it. It's pretty worthless, but it's kind of cool at the same time.
Well, no, it's still. I mean, like think about like all the stuff I do. Like I don't. Most of the stuff I do isn't necessarily because there's a point, but like I don't know why. I think at that point I was like had some stuff going on too, and then I know that Johnny had like done a tutorial on it, and I saw it. I was like, it is just so kick ass. Like there's no reason for me to make a tutorial on this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
His tutorial was just so fucking good, and I was like, nah, like this. That was like the icing for like, no, I definitely don't need to get it. Like there's no point.
I gotcha. Yeah, no, it was a really, it was fun to install. The thing is, I was actually, for what it does, it's just a little speaker. I was actually surprised at how hard it was to install, because you have to solder it to some pretty tricky points. I was like, really? Just for this damn speaker? Okay.
Huh, that's interesting. I never. Well, I probably looked at some pictures of it at one point, but because I never installed it, like I don't really remember.
My God, the pictures are so deceiving. If you've ever seen the pictures, they are so blown up and everything, and it looks really easy. And you open up your system, you're like, I'm supposed to solder to that little thing for a speaker?
Oh, did you ever do? Did you ever solder in like the LEDs for the Ring of Light?
Yeah.
I fucking hated that.
Yeah, you need tweezers.
Oh, you need. I used tweezers. Yeah, tweezers. I definitely used, but well, I guess like once I got my needle nose, it wasn't as bad, but I still hated it, dude. Like there'd be times where
They are super annoying to do, but they look so cool.
Oh no, they're a must. They are definitely like a must. I still have like a bunch of different colored ones, but I'm just saying like when I did them, I was never like super stoked, and like every time I would do them, like one of them would either like I would have like melted on accident or something like that. It was just oh god, I don't know. It frustrated me, but yeah, once you put it back on, I mean, such a small LED just makes your console look so custom, you know?
Yeah, one thing I don't like about modding as well, too, when you burn things. It's horrible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Either burning up hardware or, like, you know, like when you're first starting to solder, you don't know the temperatures you're supposed to do things, that you'll burn things up. I will say this, so honestly, I'm quite proud of this. Ever since I learned how to properly solder, which was like summer of 2013, I have never burned anything. I've never burned a pad or a point or anything like that.
That's kick-ass, dude. I completely gave up on QSBs because I was burning the shit out of them when I first started messing with them, dude. And
I gotcha.
I've used them before after that because they were like required for certain exploits. Like I can't remember what chip.
The
I think,
RJ Tech does require QSBs.
Yeah, so like
At
I
least
did,
one.
I did use it for that. It was fine and all, but like I just. I just like the wires, dude. I mean,
They're a pain to remove, so it's like when you solder them, you better be sure you're soldering it properly.
Oh, there, dude. That actually is as much of a pet peeve as putting them on as taking them off. I've destroyed quite a few things trying to get them off, dude. Because it's like if you don't heat them all up at the same time, like I think your best bet is to just like use a solder vacuum or something like that and take them off one point at a time. That way, like there's less solder. Because if you're just trying to like you can't really flow it off because you'll fuck things up, and like if you don't heat them all up at the same time, you're just like pulling on the pads that they're attached to, so it's risky, dude.
Yeah, I haven't messed with too many of them, but with my experience, I did ruin one because I was trying to pull it off. I didn't pull it off properly, but I don't really have a beef against quick solder boards, to be honest. Like I thought they were okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people used them, so and they were pretty standard and sold a lot of them. So not everyone. It's just I think it's just something like
for some other things, like for example, like NAND dumping and all that. It's like no, I'll just do direct wire. It's fine. I don't need quick solder boards.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing some like hardcore stuff with a NAND, I could see how maybe that'd be useful. But the NAND is like it's really easy to hook up to, man. The NAND points are like they're fairly large and there's not anything to damage. You've got like some capacitors and shit, but like it's nothing too risky, to like have to take on and off quite a few times.
Absolutely.
So, one thing like this is probably like my last big pet peeve that I just thought of too, dude, is putting shit back together. Serious, man. I am fantastic at breaking things down.
Are you the type of person who like you'll put it together and you suddenly have like 5 screws that you couldn't find places to put in?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. No. There's always shit where I'm like, yeah, it's done, put back together. I'm like, wait a minute, like, all like I've dude, just a few things that have happened to me while putting things back together. I've done an exploit and I've put it back together, and then something's touching the metal cage, so I either short and break everything, or it just gives me an error code. So that's awesome. I have put things back together. One time I put some shit back together, dude, and I forgot to reconnect one of the cables to the drive, and I was like, fuck. So I had to redo it. I mean, just so many times, man, have I taken like for example, like I took apart a PS3 for the first time, dude, and like it was just
those are so painful to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely taking the thing apart, and I'm like, dude, this is gnarly. There's just so many layers of shit, and I'm like, okay, like yeah, I'm not taking photos of it. I'm not looking at like a guide. Like I'm sure there's guides out there I could have like watched in reverse or something like that. But dude, I took it apart and I put it back together using probably out of all the screws I took out, like probably a fourth of them, maybe.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, fuck these screws.
Oh, Daniel.
Dude, I hate it. I'm like, why is there so many screws? Like, I get that it's all like probably like for heat and shit like that to hold, like the different shields and fucking things together. But dude, come on, man. Like, dude, I hate putting like there's a laptop sitting on my floor right now. A girl from work let me borrow to see what was wrong with it, and basically the thing is just it's just destroyed. It either needs a completely new like power, the board that the PSU board, if you will, on it. I don't know, it's not even what it's called, but the part that connects to the power, like that shit's all fucked up. Not the plug, but the whole power system, or it's got water damage or something on it. But I took it apart. And right now, all the parts, like all the screws and all the pieces and shit, are just in the bag, like that she gave it to me. And then I texted her yesterday, was like, "Hey, so did you want me to put this thing back together?" Because I'm hoping she's just like, "No, it's trash." And so I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" But like, absolutely not a fan of putting things for the first time back together. Like the Xbox is,
gotcha.
Xbox is now. I could put that bitch together, drunk, high, and blindfolded. You know, what I mean,
I'm about in that same area as well.
so it's like, but things that you haven't, that aren't just like six screws. It's a trip, dude. It's not simple. It really isn't. If you're not, paying attention, or like, I really need to either 3D print out or just buy one of those little like kind of like ice trays that you can put screws in, and like in certain orders of like each layer.
Yeah.
That's something super useful.
Why don't you just use an ice tray?
Well, because like, I mean, that would work totally fine. But the thing is, like, I don't even need it to be that big, dude. It can be like a fourth of an ice tray.
So cut an ice tray in half or a fourth.
Stop! I want to 3D print some shit. I have been like, since I got back and haven't printed anything. I wanted to buy a chess set because one of my friends, she's never played chess before, and I'm like, no shit. So I was gonna go out and buy one, and I was looking at Amazon at like all the glass ones and like handcrafted wood ones. And I'm like, dude, I have a fucking 3D printer. So I went on Thingiverse, and there's like all these dope ass custom like pawns and shit. And I'm like, dude, I'm printing it. Fuck it, dude. Even if it's like, not necessary to take a lot of time, and like the plastic will probably be like the same as just buying one and having it right away. I'm like, dude, I just want to print some shit, man.
I gotcha. You're a big DIY person, so I completely understand that.
Yeah, I'm DIY, and just I'd say that's probably it, dude. I just like to make things complicated. I think
Here's one thing, because you said you don't like putting things back together. I'm kind of like that too. I don't think I'm as bad as that, but like I don't really like putting them back together the first time. But my N64, actually, when I still need to put the video out on this, it hasn't been put up already, but I RGB modded a N64, and I installed like an RGB board to it. And when I was bench testing it, it didn't look right. Like, it wasn't bright enough, and the colors were like super washed out and faded, and it looked horrible. It looked so bad. So I was just like, you know what? I've worked on this thing for 3 hours. I'm just going to finish putting it back together. Maybe tomorrow when I wake up, I'll open it back up and check and see what's going on. So I put the whole thing back together complete. And then when I hooked it back up, because I was like, let's just see if it works. I want to make sure it works out fine, which I recommend testing all that stuff. You guys just test. But I tested it, hooked it back up, and it looked perfect.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, it didn't work properly when I had it open, but when I put it all together, it was working perfectly fine.
Why?
I don't know, and I'm afraid to take it apart again because of that.
I wouldn't, dude. Leave it be.
Exactly.
Dude, how much? Because here's the thing. I either did or was attempting to RGB mod an N64 years ago, and I didn't use a board though. I feel like I was just doing some shit with wires and like maybe some.
If you have an older model that at least in the US, if the serial number starts with NS1, you just need some wires, and if it's not bright enough, you can actually either make your own amplifier or buy one that's pre-made and solder to it.
Okay.
Both of them are pretty easy to do, really. But I have an NS2 model. Both of mine are NS2 models, the ones I have at least with me. So I had to buy a board for like 40 or 50 bucks from Australia, of all places. And that was honestly the hardest soldering thing I've had to do, because I had to solder these 13 Kynar wires from the board to the DAC itself. And the DAC is like half the size of a penny.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that was painful.
Wow. Yeah, actually, you know what? I feel like you might have mentioned to me something about that whole N64 model thing. I do remember you saying that now. But I guess my question is, how I feel like I've looked it up on YouTube a long time ago too. But since you just did it, is it a pretty significant difference, dude? I mean, like, it looks kick-ass? Or
I'll say this: it does look a lot cleaner, because essentially, first off, I'll say this: Nintendo, they are known for cheaping out on video quality, but second, it's an N64, and through like composite and all that, really what this does, RGB, in case you guys don't know, RGB is really the best quality you can get out of an older system. It is native on there, all that good stuff, and then you can upscale it easily, everything like that. So it's essentially the best thing you're going to get. Now, it doesn't improve the graphics itself. The graphics you can't change, but
color,
like
right?
the color, and it doesn't look as well, it's still pixelated, but it doesn't look as like, bled out and everything. Like composite is just complete ass. So really, it's like the way I can explain it is like the video output is the same. It's the way you hook it up that's different. So essentially, all that mess that you see with composite, when you fire it up in RGB, it pretty much cleans all that up. So you're seeing the pure picture right there. But I actually showed a friend of mine because he was wanting to RGB mod his N64. It does look better. The colors look better. It is sharper. But at the same time, it looks worse because it cleans up some of the games so well. Where, like, for example, we booted up Majora's Mask on the system. And at first I thought there was something wrong because there was like fog in the intro scene. And I was like, this looks like really washed out and all that. What's going on? Then when it registered to me that it was fog, I'm like, oh, it actually almost looked a little bit better in some instances with composite because it's like the video quality was so shitty that it kind of made up for it. But then when you clean it up so much, you start to see faults with the games.
That's funny, dude.
I know, it's hilarious.
So, that's trip, man.
Yeah, kind of like, sorry, I'll just say this real quick. Like, one of my friends, actually, he was obsessed with The Matrix. He used to watch it all the time on VHS when he was younger. When he got the 1080p Blu-ray, he watched it a bunch, and he said that, like, for example, there's some scenes where if you brighten them up, you could see cars or props in different places. Trinity, for example, you could see the layer of makeup on her face. And he was telling me, he's like, yeah, no, I've seen this movie so many times, I can point out all that stuff, and VHS actually masked the faults of the production.
Wow, so like the bad, it let them get away with things.
Exactly, yeah.
That's funny. Well, that's kind of funny too. That like if you think about it, when like HD and Blu-ray came out, dude, I remember seeing things. I'm like, oh, like I kind of don't like what I'm seeing here. tell me you haven't experienced that too, right?
No, I've had that before.
Yeah,
where it's
certain
like you
people,
see stuff
I'm
and
like,
it just looks horrible.
Yeah, you're like, holy shit, dude. Like sometimes like, man, maybe it was better like not knowing all the like sometimes like a mystery is kind of better than seeing the actuality of what's going on, dude.
Actually, Boogie2988, I'm not sure if you know about him. I love that guy, no homo, but he's a really big YouTuber. I'm sure a lot of people listening know of him, and he actually said in one of his videos a while ago that he bought a DSLR camera for his vlogs, and he returned it because it was too good. Because he's not the best looking guy, I'll honestly say that. He acknowledges it as well, but he's like, yeah, with the webcam, since it's not the best quality, but it's still pretty good, you get 1080p and it looks nice, but you don't see like all the detailed, disgusting parts of my face. And when you see that with a DSLR and Mega HD, you see everything. So it's like, this is almost a little bit too much detail.
Yeah, I don't like this at all, man.
Exactly.
That's funny as shit, dude.
Shit, dude, I think that's all of my peeves, man. I don't know if you've got anything up your sleeve too.
I got more peeves, but I can't think of anything that would be super significant to this. But I know there's going to be plenty of people that can have things to add in and all that. I'm looking forward to that. So if you're on YouTube, please leave a comment down below on anything that you might think, really just annoys the fuck out of you with this stuff.
Yeah. Grinds your gears.
Exactly. You know what really grinds my gears? Like radishes. That does.
Radishes?
Radishes taste like dirt.
I'm trying to think, dude. Aren't they kind of like baby onion type things?
I don't know. Well, yeah, they do kind of look like baby onions. Like I've had people try and give them to me, and I'm like, these taste like dirt. It's that and parsley. Parsley. I cannot stomach.
You mean like the spice parsley?
Maybe it's more like the actual like the plant parsley.
You know what, dude? I did. Does parsley look kind of like cilantro?
Yeah.
Okay, dude, I gotta tell you something fucking funny real quick here.
Oh, okay.
So this was probably, I don't know, a year ago when I was with my ex-girlfriend. We were making tacos, and my mom comes home, and I'm like, do you want a taco? And she said, yeah. And I said, oh, do you want any cilantro on it? And she's like, we don't have any cilantro. And I was like, yeah, I put cilantro on mine. She's like, that's fucking parsley. And
oh.
I looked at her and I just started dying, dude. And I was like, I thought it kind of tasted funky, dude. And it was totally parsley that I've been throwing on my tacos.
No, dude, it's the smell, it's the taste of it and all that. And there was a family friend, I visited him like a year ago, and he didn't believe me when I said I don't like parsley, because I've tried it so many times and I still hate it. So he's like, Danny, no, parsley's delicious. And he pulls out like a leaf of parsley. He's like, come on, just try it. And I'm like, okay, fine. So he gives it to me, and I pop it in my mouth, and it was cold. It was in the fridge, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, see, it's not that bad. And I bit down, and for like 2 seconds, I'm like, this isn't that bad. Then all of a sudden, like when the flavor kicked in, I'm just like, like I violently, like I lurched forward, like he thought I was gonna throw up all over his table.
God.
And I just pull it out, and he's laughing, and he's like, oh, Danny, you should have told me. I had no idea it was that bad. I'm like, no. Parsley makes me like physically ill. I told you this.
Parsley is the enemy.
I cannot. Yeah, that's like my kryptonite, man.
Dude,
Like and that's a scary thing, dude. Like parsley and cilantro, they look so similar. I love cilantro. I hate parsley.
I'm gonna remember that if I ever come visit you, dude. I'm just gonna bring a bag of parsley. Like,
I'm gonna smell that, and I'm just gonna start gagging. I'm gonna
I have it all like wrapped up nicely. You unwrap it, like, oh, that was so thoughtful of you. It's just like a parsley, like an Xbox controller made out of organic parsley.
Oh god! I mean, first off, I'll probably take pictures of it, but then if I do throw up, I'm aiming your direction.
I'm gonna block it with your throw up mouse pad and like shoot it right back at you.
You know that's only gonna block a little bit of it, man.
You got a pretty big range of throw up.
I don't know actually. I haven't thrown up in a few years.
Oh god, let's try to keep it that way.
Yeah, let's try it too.
Oh man, this was a fun mod chat, dude.
It was absolutely. Anyways, do we have anything else to talk about?
I'm golden, like I said. If you got anything, feel free. But I'm feeling good.
No, it's all good. I think I'm happy with outroing out here and all that. And by the way, if you all do like us and you want to check out more of just what we randomly talk about, we also have an episode of ModChat Plus coming out. Which, if you did like that throw up bit for the past like 2 minutes or so, there's about 20 minutes worth of throw up talk in the new ModChat Plus.
I'm stoked to see people's reactions to
Me
it.
too.
It's going to be either so good or just so terrible.
Yo, honestly, I'll say this straight up because I didn't tell you this before. I could have done like an entire podcast over throw up, but I was the one who was trying to deviate off the topic because I knew that would piss off people.
Well, yeah, I get it. It's kind of like a strange thing to talk about for an hour. You know, if we talked about it for continually going on about it. You know?
But I could easily do that.
Maybe we'll do that one time. Just like
That would be excellent. Oh, imagine the thumbnail I'd make for that too.
No, I'm pretty sure it'd be just like your mouse pad on crack.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, God. No, let's not do that ever.
Okay, fine. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you for watching, everyone. And if you like the content and all that, go ahead and check out the links down below in the description. There is the YouTuber formerly known as DopeSoner930 with me right here. You can find his channel down below if you're looking at this on YouTube. We're also on iTunes. We're on Podbean if you want a downloadable version of the podcast. And we have a Facebook page as well, too, that we're trying to use a bit more. Daniel, I'm looking at you.
Hey, testing 1, 2, 3. At least I did that, man. Yeah, no, Mr. Mario's right. I need to get a little more active. So I'm gonna put like a post-it note on my screen, so that way every time I see it, I'm like mod chat post, and like I'm like, oh shit, I gotta post something. just to get it like in the rhythm, and then it'll just come naturally. But
of course.
Anyways, guys, Dopes Wonder, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And like Mr. Mario said a little bit ago, any like stuff that just grinds your gears about modding, please leave in the comments down below, because as much as we like you guys watching our content and stuff like that, it's as rewarding, if not more, to get feedback from you guys and for you guys to contribute to this ongoing conversation that we have back and forth.
Absolutely. Yeah, if we just talked back and forth in a room alone, I mean, we could pull it off, but it's much better when people are commenting about it.
Yeah, I feel like we are in a room talking alone, and every once in a while someone rings the doorbell, and that's you guys, and it keeps it fresh.
Absolutely, yeah. There's actually a podcast that I followed at one point where it was just like one guy talking, and then like it was like the other people he was with actually kind of made fun of him because they're like, no, it's like you pretty much talk to yourself for an hour. You're psycho.
I mean, I guess like it's kind of strange, but if it makes them happy, it makes them happy. I just thought of one last thing too, though, that we used to say in our videos or podcasts. But those of you guys that have topics you'd like us to cover, we do have a list of topics already ongoing. But I mean, we still got quite a lot to go. But as they are kind of dwindling down and we're going through them, if there are things you'd like us to cover, please comment down below. And there's a good chance that at some point we will cover that topic as well.
Hey, somebody recommend throw up episode.
No, don't do that. If you do that, then I'm gonna hack into Mr. Mario's account and block you, or just kindly ask him to block you. But either way, or I'm gonna send him some parsley. So I mean, this is gonna be.
Oh God, no! Don't do that. I couldn't handle that.
No, the horror. But,
the horror.
All right, man.
All right. Well, hey, thank you all for listening and watching, everyone.
These guys.